With the foundation of this report that I gave earlier on, you would understand that the force into which they're seeking for Ambazonians' love, unity, peace is even amazing. It's amazingly funny because at the end of the day, you would begin to wonder, you do not care about these people. Votes do not count. Why are you trying to make peace and show some love that is not genuine and real at this end? But that's on the other side. On the flip side, the leadership of President Sakura said there is no election. Ambazonians do not need to go out. Don't bother yourself. But here we are having it on the left side and on the right side. This is another night when we need the authorities who have been here before, who have seen it all, who have read far and wide, to educate Ambazonians again on the need to listen and observe and follow what their circle-led presidency is sticking to when it comes to election, regardless of all of these ephemerals that may look enticing that are coming in. Barrister Fu, let's start with you.
Thank you, Onye. The President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and the government of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia has made a pronouncement, and there is a law. No elections in the territory of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. No election in the territory of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, so to speak. So what are we seeing? Why we are working to make sure that there will be no elections in our territory? We have amongst us Ambazonians enemies of freedom. They are the ones organizing some villages, trying to get electorates from some villages so that they can vote for La République du Cameroon elections in the territory of the Southern Cameroons. During the American War of Independence, I don't know whether they had traitors like we do. Look, the American experience is so nice, but comparing it to the primitive African thinking that is represented by La République du Cameroon, coming to the extent of buying our people to do what they are doing against their freedom, makes this revolution one of the most difficult to manage. A revolution remains a revolution. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that elections do not take place in the territory of Ambazonia, these La République elections. Because if we do, the independentists has said it. If we vote, it's an indication that we are not ready for freedom. It will give La République du Cameroon a leeway to say they are part of us. They only wait for elections to come to our territory. Why do we need them? Who is bringing them? Our own people. John Gote was in Bamenda. John Gote is a Southern Cameroon, is an Ambazonian. He was in Bamenda, guarded by battalions of military as he entered Bamenda. He was there making pronouncements. Oh, ghost towns are killing the economy of the Northwest and the Southwest. As if the Northwest and the Southwest has an economy other than La République economy. I am saying, if La République comes out with 1 or 2 votes in the territory of Ambazonia, it is our people who have made it possible for them. Because we saw a video, Onye, where in Andek, Ambazonians were registering Ambazonians to vote for a La Republic election. And they think they can get away with it. It will not happen. It will not happen because the ASA saw that video and they will react. We do not want anybody to go out campaigning or registering or empowering people to register or voting in October 2025 in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. If it happens, we will know that some of the enemies went through the net and made sure that they had 1 or 2 votes here and there. That will not represent the vote from Ambazonia. They have never, since the revolution started in 2017 till today, La Republic has not had any credible, any kind of election in the territory of the southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. So we are saying that that election will not take place in Ambazonia, and that is a law, and anybody who attends will be tried for treason when the time comes. If you don't get you now, we'll get you when we are in power in Ambazonia. When our sovereignty is restored and our people take over their own destiny, and they will try you for treason for what you did to our people. I am passing this message to our people on the ground. Forget the so-called elites that are sitting in Yaoundé and eating fat. Some of the traditional rulers have escaped from Ambazonia and they are living in Yaoundé, and they are teleguiding what is happening in their villages. We will put a stop to that, and if we don't, we will get you when the time comes. There will be no election. There's no election of La Republic in another country called the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Let it be known by everybody, by those blacklegs who are citizens of Ambazonia, who think that they will look. When La Republic collapses, don't come saying, "Oh, we were wrong. Oh, forgive us." Don't come apologizing, because the law will take its course. You betrayed us when we needed you. You betrayed the whole country when the citizens needed you, because you were eating fat somewhere. You stay there and eat fat and remain their citizen. Don't come to us, because that day will be a day of reckoning. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Barrister Fru. Barrister Ambazonia, we started with this report from the week, but from the previous week, Barrister Fru mentioned that video from Andek. That was the previous week. And you remember there was a communique Dr. Martin Mungwa brought, not even knowing that this week there will be more moves as regards to the election, just as if you saw it ahead of time. And Barrister Mbe, you said Ambazonians should brace of more moves will be made, and here we are today. We are seeing more moves. Within the week, we saw move. We discussed the Dion Ngozi move, and today we are seeing the independents seeing more and speaking out. Barrister Mbe, how much more you in particular, at this point, I'm asking this to you, how much more would you speak for Ambazonians to understand? Because, you think that they have seen it, or you think that they are feeling the brunt, you think that they are feeling the pain. But somehow, at the back, the other time we saw the names of those who are conniving to get others registered. We saw videos as well. So it seems like others are not hearing, or probably they are hearing, but they don't understand. So how much more, how else can you say that there won't be any elections in Ambazonians and Ambazonians are not supposed to support this move? How else can you say it for them to understand?
Well, it looks like an uphill task to get Ambazonians understand when we who ought to understand better have refused to understand anything. That topic you put there, the heading, election, a peace trap, was put out there in response to another piece put out by my learned colleague and friend, Nico Hale Ntumfo. Ndwala is a practicing lawyer, and Ndwala is my classmate. We graduated the same year, 82, in which Ntumfo was calling on Ambazonians to vote, some ceasefire and all this sort of stuff. And so this thing that this analyst put out there fell on all fours. And what Hale said seemed to give the impression that in spite of the education that all of us have, so those mighty guns don't understand what it is all about. Because I did not expect this to come from a lawyer. What elections are coming up soon are presidential elections. Who are the primary candidates? The favored candidate in that election, if everything were to be when equal, is Kamto. This crisis has been going on for long, and someone asked Kamto publicly, I think it was in Canada, what do you think about this Anglophone rebellion? Their resistance. What will you do? What was Kamto's reply? Kamto's reply was, Cameroon has already made its history. That's the future president of Cameroon come next month, 3 months to come. What history has Cameroon made? They have assimilated Anglophones, they call it. And so it's not prepared to revisit it. And then we are being called to go vote in those elections, to submit to Kamto, to be adequately, to be properly assimilated and killed. Not being called by activists in the street, being called by renowned lawyers, big people who live in Douala, well-educated people. Then you ask yourself, where are we coming from? Why are we so uneducated ourselves? I would rather expand on that. Not just a peace trap. There's more to it that will make people understand. I would rather add, if you see anything, any promise made by any Francophone leader, escape from it is a trap. They're just lying. They're just deceiving you. And the history is long. And I can just quote a few instances to justify what I'm saying. In 1959, Ahija went to the United Nations and promised that if we join them, it will be a state with all autonomy around it. It will be a federation. Just 2 months, 6 months after that, Resolution 1608 came. The very Ahija government voted against it. Notwithstanding all the promises they made to the United Nations and to Francia, they voted against it. And that was the government. The very French, the very Ahija are not Francophone. Who told us that will be in a federation? Promised the United Nations, promised Francia and others. After voting against Resolution 1608, what did they do? He went forward to invite Francia to bring a delegation to Fumban, what they call today the Fumban Conference, Constitutional Conference. Whereas there was no constitutional conference in Fumban. He was just lying. They invited Francia and his 50-man delegation to Fumban. And while they were in Fumban, they never even met once to discuss the constitution. Not even once. They met at the opening session, went and drank, came back, met at the closing session. In between, they forced Francia and his delegation into a room to make proposals, not agreements, and give it to them. Had Francia known, they would not even have gone there. We see them talk, escape from them. But it did not even end there. Despite of not being part of that thing, they went forward and produced a federal constitution without consulting the Francia, without consulting with the United Nations that they were supposed to be part of it. And they framed it a federal constitution 1st September 1961, which federal constitution was everything but federal. There was nothing federal in the federal constitution. Absolutely nothing. It was just a lie. Why? Because in that federal constitution, what power did it provide for the states, the federated states? Zero power. Absolutely zero power. They took all the powers and then went to Article 4 and 5 and 6. They took all the powers of the state. And what did they give to Southern Cameroon as their own authority? Article 38 said, anything which you have not mentioned, you can take it. Is that a federation? That was Yaoundé. Had Frontier known, they would have run away from that thing. It's a peace trap. They didn't even end there. In that very thing they call federal constitution, they stated that Frontier's government will be appointed by by Ahijo, and his ministers will be dismissed by him. Article 89. In that very federal constitution, they stated that Article 47, the federal character of this territory will not be violated. But they trapped another trap. They put Article 2.1. The president can call a referendum, which he did in 1972 to kill the revolution. And so these are documented things that no Ambazonia intellectual, nobody analyst should see these people as an honest group of people. They are peace traps. And as it is properly elucidated there, they invited so-called Ambazonians to Canada for peace talks. We saw Ambazonians parading there, we saw their faces. We saw Professor Carson Anyangwe and others, the Capodanians. But we never saw the face of any Cameroonian delegation there, not one. What was it? It was a trap to make them submit themselves. They called their Grand National Dialogue, trapped Agombala, trapped Cardinal Tumi, made them the chairperson of the decentralization, but they outlawed the form of state being discussed. They were bound to accept what they said. That is pure trapping of their own opponents. And so it's a peace trap. And then they told us, that article says there, say, election is a submission, not resistance. In other words, we have to resist this trapping. We have to resist what has gone, that we've gone through since 1961, rather than submit to what they wish. And I would go to that word submission, not resistance, and deal with it concerning elections. I've said here many times before, we have all people represented in Yaoundé, 35 parliamentarians, 20 senators, and so on and so forth. What are they doing? What are they doing? They were supposed to have been elected. Have they raised this issue of what they call Anglophone problem within their house of elected people? Nothing. Nothing. Rather, when one bold person stood up to talk, I'm talking about Joseph Wilbur, they said it will never be discussed here. They signed an arrest warrant for him, and he fled. Wilbur went there based on elections, and it is still ongoing. They are there, and I think I took the opportunity to analyze it. Also, Madame Mundi, she is supposed to be a senator sitting in Yaoundé as an elected official from Ambazonia. And they asked her publicly, the interview is still there, what have you done as elected officials about your so-called Anglophone problem? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so this is a trap. These are peace traps, election trap, which the writer says is a submission, not resistance. We must resist. We must resist. And in order to resist, we must know what we are not. We must tell the public what we are. Ambazonians are not terrorists. Let that be clear. Let them understand this. We are resistant to occupation. We are freedom fighters. And so they must understand this before they know what it is. The Ambazonian struggle is not about good governance in Yaoundé. No. It is not about who sits in a truly. No. It is about our own institutions. Whoever sits in a truly, as the president of Cameroon, is our neighbor. We are not struggling to do decentralization. That Mr. Ntumfo and the rest were saying. The struggle is not about decentralization. It's not about creating a regional house in Bamenda and in Kumba, wherever they give it. It's not about building gas stations in Kumba and Bamenda and so on and so forth. No, it is about the survival of people. The struggle is not about, we've talked about roads. We have no
Thank you so
roads.
much. It's
It's
about
not
the
about making them to
survival.
build us roads.
Yes. Yes.
It is about having the right to construct our own roads ourselves. As Basanso says, it is about controlling our own economy, taking care of our own the way we want, putting up our own infrastructure. It is not about submission to a foreign power. If they transform himself into France, to United States, and they do what they are doing, we will resist. We will not submit. We will resist. So this struggle is not about submission. Elections are submission to the people. They are not resistance to oppression. And so I very much love that article. I think if people can understand us, they should understand us. Because I don't know why, I hope Balsantum for Harley
All right.
can follow what we're saying. My classmate, they should stop deceiving us. If they feel the election is so good, let them vote in Douala. He's in Douala, I've said that before. You can vote there. Because it is a public of Cameroon that will provide him an office for his place in Douala, not a government boy. But you should not tell me, Mr. So, and you and me, who are not there to go and vote for their own president. No. So again, I think I give a lot of credit to the author of that piece.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Ambazonia. Thank you so much for that detailed historical flow of that answer there. I love when you go into the detail. It helps everyone to understand the intricacies behind this liberation move.